Okay, so this is another example on the sketching of graph of a sine or cosine function. So we are given f of x equals negative 2 sine of 3x minus pi over 2. Okay, so based from the given, we say that the amplitude is, okay, since we have negative 2, the amplitude is the absolute value of negative a, so the amplitude is still 2. Okay, and the period, okay, period is 2 pi over b. So 2 pi over 3, that is now our period, 2 pi over 3. And then our phase shift, okay, so our phase shift is c over b, so that is pi over 2 over 3, which is equal to, let me write here, this is pi over 6. Okay, so those are our necessary data to graph the given function. Okay, so let us now graph the function. Una, let us consider the amplitude and the period. Okay, so the amplitude is 2. Okay, and the period is 2 pi over 3. So how do we graph this one? Okay, we need the amplitude to be 2, so the values of our y, 2 and negative 2, so negative 1, negative 2. Okay, so what do we need to plot in the x-axis? Okay, we know that the period is 2 pi over 3, and we need quarters of the whole period to graph the whole cycle. So we need to divide 2 pi over 3 by 4. Okay, so 2 pi over 3 divided by 4, we need that. 2 pi over 3 and then divide by 4. Divide by 4 is equal to pi over 6. So if this is 2 pi over 3, this is 2 pi over 3. So the half of 2 pi over 3 is uh, pi over 3, and half of pi over 3 is pi over 6. 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, or pi over 2. Okay, so 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, and then 4 pi over 6. Okay, so those are our necessary values of x. We only need the period, and then we need to divide the period by 4 so that we have the 4 important values. Okay, and then we graph the amplitude and the function with amplitude and period. This is a sine. Okay, the sine function is from 0 to 2 to 0 to negative 2 and then to this one. Okay, so this graph, which I am drawing right now, okay, this is the graph of, okay, let us write here, f of x equals 2 sine of 3x. Okay, so f of x equals 2 sine of 3x. What do we miss? Okay, so we need negative. The value of a is negative. This means that we need to flip the graph. Okay, it should be flipped uh, about the y. Okay, so ibig sabihin nito, the points now becomes, instead of 2 here, it becomes negative 2. These points will be inverted about the y. So our graph, considering the negative value of a, is something like this. Okay, so this one, the blue one, this is the graph of f of x equals negative 2 sine of 3x, and this is what we need. Negative 2 sine of 3x. And then we need to transform this by shifting. Okay, we have the phase shift pi over 6, and remember this is minus, so we need to shift the points pi over 6 units to the right. Okay, so this point 0 will now go to pi over 6. This point will now go here. This point will now go here, and then this point here will now uh, go here. Okay, and then we need another point here, another value of x. So 2 pi over 3 plus another pi over 6. Okay, so this 5 pi over 6. Okay, so this is 5 pi over 6, and we need that. Okay, should be green. Okay, and then we connect the points. So there. Okay, this green is now the f of x equals negative 2 sine of 3x minus pi over 2. Okay, so this is now the green. Okay, that is now the graph we are looking for of the given function. Okay, remember, if you have any question about this one, you can always ask in the forum that I made just after this lesson, dun sa baba. Okay, questions, discussions.